In the heart of old Kyoto, where narrow lantern-lit streets whisper tales of elegance and mystery, your life as a geisha begins, not as a performer of simple beauty, but as a keeper of an ancient art. To the untrained eye, you are a woman painted in porcelain grace, but beneath the layers of silken ritual lies discipline, sacrifice, and the silent poetry of devotion. The beginning. Becoming a maiko. You were not born a geisha, you became one. It began in childhood, when your family, struggling to make ends meet, sent you to an okiya, a geisha house, where the okawa-san, house mother, took you in. From that moment, your old life faded like ink in water. Your days as a shikomi, servant apprentice, were long and humbling. You swept floors, prepared tea, washed kimonos, and waited quietly while the older geishas entertained guests in the rooms above. You learned by watching, the tilt of a fan, the pause between laughter, the way silence itself could become an art form. When your hands grew sore from cleaning, you reminded yourself, every movement was training. The okawa-san told you, a geisha must never rush. Even when the world burns, she moves like the calm before dawn. Months passed before you were allowed to train formally. The kaburenjo, the geisha school, became your temple. There you studied the shamisen, three-stringed lute, the soft rhythms of Nihon Buyo, traditional dance, and the thousand subtleties of etiquette. You learned to bow just low enough to show respect, but never submission, to smile with your eyes, not your mouth, and to move with such grace that even your silence spoke volumes. The transformation. From maiko to geisha. When you were ready, your maizudashi ceremony announced your debut as a maiko, an apprentice geisha. The city buzzed with excitement. Your hair was styled in elaborate loops decorated with pins that caught the light like falling stars. The kimono you wore was so heavy it felt like carrying the weight of history itself. Every night, you followed your mentor, the Oni-san, elder sister, to akaya tea houses where wealthy patrons gathered. You poured sake, played the shamisen, danced in rhythm with the music, and listened more than you spoke. Conversation, you learned, was a dance of its own, each word measured, each laugh softly placed. It was not about seduction but presence. The guests came not for your beauty, but for the feeling that, in your company, time slowed and the world seemed lighter. You became the mirror of their moods, the gentle breeze to their storm, the laughter in their silence. Years later, after countless lessons, mistakes, and moments of quiet triumph, you reached your erike, the turning of the collar, the ceremony that transformed you from maiko to geiko, the Kyoto term for geisha. Your red collar was replaced with a pure white one, symbolizing maturity and mastery. You were now a full geisha. The art of being present. Each day in your new life begins before dawn. The streets are still, the sky pale gray, and the soft sound of wooden geta sandals echoes as you walk to your lessons. You practice calligraphy, for a geisha's handwriting reflects her soul. You rehearse dance, ensuring that each movement carries emotion without exaggeration. You perfect the art of ikebana, flower arrangement, because to understand beauty, one must also understand simplicity. Your face becomes a canvas of tradition. You apply white rice powder with delicate precision, painting not a mask, but a symbol, the mask of transformation. Red and black lines frame your eyes, each stroke a language of expression. The deep crimson on your lips forms a silent invitation, not of love, but of attention. Your kimono, chosen for each occasion, speaks before you do. The colors, patterns, and seasonal motifs tell stories that guests read without words. In your world, everything has meaning. The way you pour tea, the tempo of your footsteps, even the distance between your fan and your heart. The evenings. Life in the tea houses. As night descends, lanterns flicker to life across Gion, and the air fills with the faint scent of incense and rain. The akaya awaits, where patrons, businessmen, artists, poets, and sometimes lonely souls, gather seeking escape. You arrive in quiet elegance, bowing gently as you enter. Inside, laughter mingles with music and the clinking of sake cups. You sit beside your guests, engaging in polite conversation, storytelling, and the subtle art of companionship. Unlike the Western idea of entertainment, the geisha's world is built on refinement. Your goal is not to impress, but to elevate. You sense the rhythm of the room, the shy guest who needs coaxing into conversation, the boastful one who desires admiration, the melancholic soul who only needs to be heard. When you dance, the room falls silent. Every gesture, raising your fan, turning your wrist, tilting your head, is deliberate. The story unfolds not through words, but through motion. In that moment, you are both performer and poet, the bridge between ancient Japan and the modern world beyond those paper walls. Loneliness behind the beauty, yet, behind the painted smile lies solitude. The life of a geisha demands sacrifice. Love, in its ordinary sense, rarely belongs to you. The world you inhabit is built on illusion, moments of connection that fade with dawn. While others marry and raise families, you dedicate yourself to art, discipline, and the fleeting beauty of performance. Your relationships are complex, a mixture of friendship, respect, and quiet distance. Patrons may adore you, but few truly know you. Beneath the layers of silken etiquette, your true self hides like a shadow in candlelight. There are nights when you return to your small room in the okia and remove your makeup slowly, watching the white paint dissolve in the basin. The face that looks back at you feels both familiar and foreign, a reminder that the geisha's greatest art is not her dance, but her ability to live between two worlds, the one of illusion and the one of truth. Legacy of the floating world. As years pass, your role evolves. Younger maiko now bow to you with reverence, calling you Oni-san. You teach them as your mentor once taught you, how to walk, to smile, to speak the unspoken. You understand now that being a geisha is not about beauty or fame, it is about presence. It is about holding stillness in a world that rushes past, about preserving art in an age that forgets to pause. When the cherry blossoms fall each spring, you watch them drift down the Shirakawa River and think of all the nights spent under those petals, playing shamisen, dancing in candlelight, laughing softly with strangers who came and went like seasons. Your life has been a fleeting poem, graceful, disciplined, and eternal in its impermanence. And when one day your hands tremble too much to hold a fan, and your voice softens to a whisper, the younger geishas will still speak your name in admiration. For though the world may forget, the art you lived for, the beauty you embodied, will live on through them. In the end, your life as a geisha is not a story of glamour, but of devotion. Devotion to art, to elegance, to silence, and to the simple truth that beauty, true beauty, is found not in being seen, but in making others feel. That is your life as a geisha.